huge happy Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door Day. I cannot wait to go pick up my copy, but for some reason GameStop doesn't open until 12. It's 9 o'clock as of the time I'm recording this, and it's kind of insane. But at the end of the day, I'm just very excited that Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door is out today and we can all enjoy it. But the game might hold some very in-depth secrets that we weren't looking for in the first place, based on the code of the game that could hint at a big feature for Switch 2, which is super exciting. In fact, this is the first game that we've ever seen code like this, but I'm not going to drag it. Let's just jump right into it. We've been hearing for a while that Switch 2 games are going to be running in 4K. Now, whether you believe that or not, it's been a rumor for a very long time, and some sources are saying that they back it up completely, and it sounds about right. Now, this would probably obviously be in docked mode, but that's still like extremely exciting for a Nintendo console, let alone. So that's super cool. Hopefully, that's also 60 frames. We're just going to have to wait and see. But what's also very interesting about this is that for the first time ever for a regular Nintendo Switch game, there is 4K support found in Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door's code. Interesting. Now, why would this be the case? Well, of course, as we get closer and closer to the next Switch, which is believed to be the beginning of next year, we're also getting closer and closer to a reveal. And it shows here that, yeah, some games are going to be planned to jump to that 4K resolution. And I am curious if any other games are going to get this update. Is there going to be like an update that, allow all games to do that? Or is this just like a Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door and every game that comes after it, type of situation? So we could be playing Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door in 4K 60 frames per second in a year, and I'm actually like super excited about that. And there's like a whole talk I want to have with how this could impact past games, and also some weird things that we've heard with other rumors. But first off, I also want to say that this is very strange compared to some stuff that we've been speculating since the first reveal trailer, and that's the color of the buttons that they displayed on screen. They were a weird colorway, and it was just strange to have those colors for a Nintendo Switch game. And everybody was thinking that those colors could be related to the color of the buttons on the Nintendo Switch 2. A Mario RPG did this first, where all the buttons match the colors of the buttons from an SNES controller. Well, it's an SNES game, so that makes sense. And why is a GameCube game, being Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door, doing the same color scheme? It doesn't really make sense. And yes, I've checked some extended footage. It looks like you're going to have red A button and a yellow B button again. And that probably means the other buttons are the same colors, being blue and green. We also seen Nintendo do this with an SNES edition of the new 3DS XL, so maybe they're trying to hint at something that the new Switch is going to have. Maybe SNES color buttons where you have red, yellow, blue, and green. So maybe this is going to be the Super Switch or something along those lines. Even though we do know the code name to start with an O, and I think a lot of people have come out and said that it's going to be Ounce. At least the code name is Ounce. So maybe the real name is something very simple like Super Switch or something like that. Super Switch 2 or something. I don't know. Now, what does this mean for the games? I think this is a huge deal, and it really does make me wonder, what do they mean by this 4K resolution in the code? Is this stuff that's going to be added to other games? Because it's going to be very strange if it's just for a couple of the last games coming out to current Switch and none of the other games that are out right now currently. Because it also contradicts with something that apparently a lot of rumors are coming from extremely reliable sources like Midori on Twitter, who has been pretty much 100% correct, has stated that Nintendo is indeed working or has some type of new version of Breath of the Wild ready to go for Switch 2. So with that in mind, why? Is Nintendo really going to sell us a full-priced Breath of the Wild all over again just because it has improved graphics when there's games that already have code for improved graphics that we could have just bought on the Switch and just, have a free little update with it? Yeah, that's a little strange to me. So it sounds to me like maybe it's only going to be any game that comes after Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door is going to have this in the code, meaning that every other game before it is eligible for a remake, technically, where Nintendo can resell the game to us, which is just... it's just such a Nintendo thing to do, and I know that feels like the case right now. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that's not the case. I hope there's just like free updates and there's some reason why they're bringing Breath of the Wild back. But yeah, I would love to see all the other games enhanced, like Mario Odyssey, Luigi's Mansion, for crying out loud. Luigi's Mansion 3 is beautiful already, and having it even enhanced further would just be fascinating to see exactly how good that looks on Switch 2. I guess the thing that's really throwing me off is this Breath of the Wild remake thing that apparently is in production, because yeah, it also throwing me off considering the fact that we just got Tears of the Kingdom. So like, are a lot of people or really anybody going to want to go back to Breath of the Wild when Tears of the Kingdom was essentially the same game in the same world with the same characters, but just more, you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's completely up to the user, I guess, to double dip on this game, even if it's true. So we're just gonna have to wait and see if that's fact or not. That's really cool. So like we can expect some upcoming games that's coming out soon, like Luigi's Mansion 2 and whatever else is announced during this Nintendo Direct, to probably have that in the code as well, potentially. We're just gonna have to wait and see. But what makes this very interesting as well is the fact that this is finally the first game that has this code. And we've been getting games this year, so the fact that this is the first one here in May suggests to me that the Switch 2 is getting even closer to be revealed, like very close. I'm talking we could be getting a reveal in the next couple of months, and we're just gonna have to take that with a grain of salt, but it makes sense. If Nintendo's having a big direct in June, or at least somewhat of a big direct in June, showcasing some more stuff to look forward to for current Switch, then I would expect some type of Switch 2 presentation here in August or even September to really, you know, hype it up for next year, reveal some games, and get us excited. Like I said before, if there is a big first-party, huge launch title like a 3D Mario, Mario Kart, Metroid Prime 4, whatever it might be, Nintendo needs to show that off soon, because that gap is closing between now and March of next year, if that's what we're looking at for the launch of the next console. Now, a lot of people are going to say, is 4K 60 frames per second even worth it for a Nintendo game that's already cartoony like Mario and Zelda and stuff? Who needs graphics that massive for a game like that? I'm telling you right now, it's going to make these games look phenomenal. I mean, even though it still retains that cartoony nature of the Mario and Zelda games that we've seen in the past, it can really make games look like night and day of a difference. I mean, people have already posted online, you know, modded versions of Breath of the Wild and what it could look like at like 8K at 60 frames per second. And I mean, like, the footage you're seeing right now just explains it all. It's beautiful. I mean, seriously, at least the frame rate is very noticeable, as a lot of Nintendo Switch games tend to still be 30 frames. So having full 60 frames and also just those vivid, bright, saturated colors, it's gonna look amazing. I mean, some of the games that I've already played, I just could not wait to actually jump in and play them again. Games like Forgotten Land, Luigi's Mansion 3, even the old Splatoon games, they're going to look massively good if Nintendo does go the route of upgrading all the past games. But I still have a feeling it might only be a couple of games, and, you know, that would just be weird. But it's Nintendo. You know they love their remakes, remasters, and ports, and they want to make sure that they can always have something to port. But yes, I'm super excited to see what games can look like on this new console with Mario, Zelda, the new games, maybe some old games. It's going to be great. But let me know in the comments down below, are you excited to see a extremely more powerful Nintendo Switch being able to run at 4K and 60 frames per second? Or do you not care? Are you just somebody that just loves the games and you're just fine with whatever games we get? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy Paper Mario the 1000-Year Door today. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out, and I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.